Now, when you're doing various calculations in the tests, you will often be required to work out what the actual reaction is. So they'll only tell you what the reactants are. So they'll give you an acid, a base, acid plus metal carbonate is super common. And so you basically need to recognize these patterns that we've discovered, that whenever you add an acid plus a base, you get salt plus water. Whenever you add acid plus metal, you get salt plus hydrogen gas. And whenever you add an acid plus a metal carbonate, such as sodium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, you'll get salt, water plus carbon dioxide gas. Now, I'll just add the states into these things. So these are dissolved in water, so they're aqueous, so they're actually ions, which we'll look at in the next video. So water itself is considered a liquid. Now, the magnesium would be a solid, and most of them are aqueous. Okay, so the other thing to note about all of these equations, just finish that last one, is they're all neutralization reactions. So the acid and the base, well, the acid basically gets neutralized here, the base also gets neutralized, and they form these salts. And so for some syllabuses, they'll go into the ways of the three different methods of creating these salts based on whether the reactants or products are soluble or insoluble. The most important thing for you is to be able to grab the reactant to recognize, oh, that one's an acid, that one's a base, but for this one here, this one's an acid, this one's a metal, and for this one here, this one's an acid, and this one's a carbonate. Therefore, I know what to write on the other side. So I grab the OH and the H to create the water, and the leftover metal plus non-metal is the salt. For this one here, that will become the metal for the salt, and the hydrogen comes off, and this will become the non-metal for this ionic compound, this salt on the other end. Here again, the carbon dioxide, you'll get this pop off to become the carbon dioxide, and one of the H's, two of the H's and the O, they're not balanced, will become the water, and so you'll get this part of the acid become the non-metal part of the ionic compound of the salt, and this part here become the metal, the first bit of the ionic compound, which is a salt. Okay, so I just left them originally unbalanced without the states, just so you could see the patterns for memorization.